Welcome. I'm Coach Andrea Oden, and right now you are in the right place to completely redefine your leadership path. I hope you're ready to gain the clarity, confidence, and strategy you need to finally make the career breakthrough that you've been craving. Here's my promise to you today. I'm going to reveal the one strategy that could mean the difference between skyrocketing your career or becoming just another name on the what could have been list. Whether you've got 5 degrees, a gold star resume, or you've been with the company for years, it won't matter if you don't master this one skill. This skill is non-negotiable for leaders who want to get seen, get known, and, of course, get paid. Now, if you don't get anything else from today's session, get this. You are one mindset shift away from the promotion, the paycheck, and the influence you deserve. If we haven't met before, here's what you should know about me. I'm Andrea Oden, a high-performance leadership coach with over 20 years of experience. As the CEO of Air Network, my one goal is to give women air. I want women, no matter where you are in life, to aspire boldly to whatever your heart desires. I want women to inspire intentionally. Because when we become intentional about inspiring others, we all move forward. And I want women to require a fearless rise to the top for themselves and for everyone they influence. I'm here to give women air. My singular mission, helping female leaders like you achieve powerful, unapologetic success. We're going to cover a lot of ground today. And this workshop isn't just about listening, it's about transformation. You'll want to take out your notebook because I've designed this session to give you real, actionable takeaways. My challenge for you, stay engaged. If something resonates with you, say it in the chat. Even just the word yes could inspire another woman in this room to realize her potential. By the end of our time together, you will have the tools to step up your. I'm going to make this promise to you. By the end of this hour, you'll have the tools to step up 2 levels in your career. Not next year, not in 6 months, but today. And we will end with an opportunity for you to take it even further with an exclusive invite to the Brand Your Career experience. Fair warning, you will never look at leadership, your mindset, or your career the same way again. Before we dig in, I want to ask you something. Have you ever watched someone who was getting everything right, absolutely crushing it at work, and then, boom, they're blindsided? Maybe they even get demoted. Maybe they're fired. And it leaves us wondering, what happened? They were the rock star. Nobody was shocked when they got promoted. But then something happened. And we never find out what it is. But here's the truth that most people won't tell you. What happened is usually not about skills, experience, or even office politics. The game changer or the downfall is the mindset. According to research by Alva Labs, and namely, approximately 40% of internal promotions end in failure. This means nearly half of the employees promoted within a company struggle to succeed in their new roles. Why? Because leaders don't step into the next level. They bring old patterns, old behaviors, and yes, old mindsets into the roles that demand something new. Today, we're going to talk about how to avoid becoming that statistic. I'm going to walk you through the framework that will move you from where you are, maybe stuck or overlooked, maybe underestimated, to where you're meant to be. I want you to feel unstoppable as a leader. Sound good? All right, buckle up. It's time to get powerful. Let me tell you a story. Several years ago, I sat in a room fiercely advocating for one of the most talented people I've ever worked with. She was incredible, a powerhouse supervisor who constantly delivered results, uplifted her team, and owned her role. Everybody agreed that this woman was ready for the next level. So she was promoted. Fast forward 1 year later, she's sitting across from me in tears. Same woman, brilliant as ever, but barely recognizable. Her spark, gone. Shoulders slumped. She was ready to quit, desperate to leave before she got fired. What happened? Mindset. A senior leader told her to stop being a supervisor and start acting like a manager. All because she went to bat for a frontline employee that she believed was worth saving. Her team loved her and performed for her. But then she listened to this one senior leader who told her that she needed to act like a manager. So instead of growing into the role, she abandoned the authentic leadership style that truly made her successful. She became demanding, aggressive, and fearful. She shrank her true self, molding into someone else's version of leadership. And you can guess the results. A downward spiral that nearly cost her her career. On the flip side, I want to tell you about Tony. Tony was promoted to director after years of being a shining star. But instead of leading a team of already capable managers, he treated those managers like they were the supervisors he used to manage. And he was micromanaging every move, hovering, criticizing. His team grew resentful, and eventually things imploded. Public humiliation, a major outburst, and finally, he was out. Why? Because Tony never leveled up his mindset. Get this, it's never just about moving up in title. It's about transforming from within. Mindset isn't optional for leadership. It's everything. Now that I've got your attention, here's the good news. You can rewrite your story. We don't leave it to chance. Here's the framework that I've seen work time and time again. It's also the framework that I used to help that manager get out of that negative mindset that a senior leader had created for her. Before you can grow, you have to know where you are. Think of yourself as being in a huge shopping mall. You want to know how to get from Kohl's to Nordstrom, and you have no idea where it is. So you have to go and look at that map and find that little pin that says you are here. And it's the same when it comes to your career. Right now, today, you are standing in the mall trying to get from one place to another. Where are you? As you look at the map, ask yourself, are you stuck thinking like your past self instead of the leader you want to be? You have to constantly ask yourself, what is the mindset of a person at that level? You literally have to become that person now. What happens for most leaders is they try to change their mindset way too late in the game. And it's usually 6, 7 months after they've been promoted. They spend the first months after being promoted just being grateful, thanking everybody for the opportunity, smiling as if that's it. And then the next 4 months, they spend doing the same thing they've always done. They do the thing that got them promoted. But here's the truth. What got you promoted won't get you promoted again. What got you here won't take you there. You've got to do more. It's a foundation for who you are, but it doesn't stop there. And when that doesn't work, they scramble to shift. That's when they start reading the books, and that's when they start watching the podcast. That's when they call the coach. Sometimes it's too late. Can you see how important your mindset is? What is your current mindset? Are you a supervisor still thinking like a frontline employee? Are you a manager still thinking like a supervisor? Those are very different roles. What got you here won't take you there. Let me ask you, how do you show up in meetings? Looking back at your very last Zoom call or the last leadership meeting, did you show up at your current level or are you shrinking? Did you show up powerfully or did you just kind of blend in? And this is not about bragging or acting, a certain way. This is about leveling up your mindset. What was on your mind in those meetings? On that Zoom call, what were you thinking? Were you watching people thinking what they're thinking about you? Were you thinking about how to show up? Were you in a good place mentally? Or were you shy, wondering what people were thinking about you? Were you wondering if you belong? Do you fit? Were you judging other people? That's not how a powerful leader shows up. That is not the mindset of a powerful leader. And here's a critical moment to reflect. When you attend a meeting with more senior level leaders, what are you thinking? What behaviors emerge? What I want you to start doing today is evaluating your current mindset. Look at successful people, and I want you to ask yourself, what is their mindset? How are they showing up? What are they thinking about in meetings? And then I want you to start embodying that mindset now. And if there isn't someone at work that you can admire in this area, think of your favorite fictional character. Think of a celebrity. This could be someone you know from another company. Why is this important? We all long to win the lottery jackpot. But did you know that 1/3 of all lottery winners declare bankruptcy within 3 to 5 years after winning? And up to 70% go broke within 7 years. Why? Because even with millions of dollars, they have a broke mindset. They still have a mindset of where they used to be, whatever that money was. And if you can go broke after winning millions of dollars, imagine how that shows up in your career if you hold the same mindset that you used to have as you're trying to grow. This leads us right into the second strategy. The second strategy is model the mindset of successful leaders. Stop winging it. You've got to watch how high level leaders, successful high level leaders, how they think, how they speak, and how they show up. And then you're going to reverse engineer their patterns. You've got to define who you want to be at the next level. Once you're clear on your current mindset, you ask yourself, who do I want to be at the next level? This is where you start to transform your thoughts. Let me give you a personal example. I don't enjoy cooking, right? I've mastered about 9 recipes, enough for about a week and a half. One day, I was telling my best friend about a guy who poked fun at me because I don't cook. He wasn't anybody who was important in my life, but his comment stung a little more than I wanted to admit. So I shared it with my best friend. And my best friend, by the way, is basically the Black Martha Stewart, right? When you come to her house, she's got frozen root beer mugs in the freezer waiting for you as if she knows you're coming. She's got everything, house immaculate. She cooks with love and she's singing. And so I asked her, I said, do you think maybe I should take a cooking class, one of those fun ones? Do you think that would make it more enjoyable for me? My best friend looked me square in the eye and said, girl, do you think Oprah is at home cooking every day? Do you think Michelle Obama was in the White House whipping up dinner every night? That moment was like a lightning bolt of clarity. When it comes to your mindset, you need to be crystal clear and unapologetic about who you want to become at the next level. And don't let anybody talk you out of it. If a senior leader suggests that you stray from your principles, smile and respond with, I hear you and I understand. But stay true to who you are. If taking care of your people defines you at the next level, stand firm and carry on with that vision, especially if it ain't broke. In the instance of the manager that I shared a few minutes ago, nothing was broken. This leader had heard about what she did and literally walked up to her and told her that nothing was broken. And she spent the next 4 months afraid, worried that she wasn't being a good manager, that she wasn't like everybody else, or that she was going to get fired, because that's what a senior leader made her feel. I want you to start paying attention to who you want to be, because here's the truth. Most of your senior leaders, most of the people giving you advice aren't on your team. And if your team is performing, everybody's happy, you've got a great culture, and your leadership is soaring, and how you know it's soaring is by the results. This manager had a team of high-performing leaders. And one comment from a leader took her down a path where she's sitting in my office about to quit. The final strategy for mastering your mindset is to challenge and upgrade your thinking. I want you to start paying attention, starting today, to every negative thought. I want you to filter every negative I can't thought and replace them with deliberate, empowering beliefs. I want you to start asking yourself if someone you greatly admire would do this. Ask yourself, what would Oprah do in this room? Whenever somebody starts talking to me about cooking, that's what I say. Oprah's not cooking. I'm the Oprah of this house. So what would the VP think about this? If that's your goal, is to be the vice president of the organization, you've got to start now with how would the VP show up? When you get out of bed, you got to be the VP. You've got to be already there, because where your mind goes is where your journey goes. Where your mind goes is where your life goes. Sometimes we get so caught up in what other people tell us, and we have no idea where they are in their leadership journey. I spent 20 years as an HR professional, and I've seen too many times to count leaders who go to their boss for advice and career direction, and they have no idea that the boss is currently on a performance improvement plan. The boss has got some stuff they're working through. So you've got to be careful where you get your advice from. And here's my thing. I'm not saying that your boss is bad. They're probably phenomenal, but you've got to be careful where you're getting your advice from. You don't need another boss. Your boss is there already. So when you start imitating something that's already there, it doesn't work. You've got to be authentic to who you are, and you've got to figure out who you want to be at the next level. When you get promoted, you've got to already be there. You've got to already have walked in that thing. I want you to start practicing that thought challenge today. Ask yourself the hard questions based on where you want to go. Don't ask what your boss would do unless you want your leadership to look like your boss's leadership. And again, the boss is already there. You don't need to. Who is the leader that you admire? Even in a fictional space, is this how Olivia Pope would show up in this situation? Is this how Angela Bassett would show up as the Queen of Wakanda? You've got to decide how you want to show up, how you want to be a leader. And when you catch yourself thinking negatively, or you catch yourself starting to shrink, you've got to question the validity of those thoughts and actively choose to replace them with more positive and empowering thoughts. And find people you admire that point to your next level of greatness. Napoleon Hill, the author of Think and Grow Rich, calls this your board of directors. And he talks about having an imaginary and real board of directors. The imaginary board of directors are people you don't know. It's like my best friend's reference to Oprah for me. And time again, I ask myself, is Oprah concerned about this? And it helps me get back on track. Another question is, 3 years from now, will this matter? And usually it's no. Your board of directors could be imaginary people that you admire their leadership style, their grace. They don't have to necessarily be somebody in the company. It could be. And it could be someone in your industry. That's perfectly fine. Your board of directors could also be people you know, people that can hold you accountable. This works well, especially if you've got a friend or a group of friends at work and you're all trying to grow. You're all headed towards the next step, right? For years, I had a group of 2 managers and 1 HR team member. And during a lunch meeting, we all talked about who we wanted to be at the next level, how we wanted to show up. And we decided to hold each other accountable wherever we were, because we were in a lot of meetings together. And so we decided that after every meeting, we're going to debrief and we're going to talk about how we showed up and what we could have done. We're going to celebrate when we do well, and we're going to be honest about it when we're not. Now, I had the highest title in the room, and I gave these ladies permission to call me out. So it doesn't matter who they are. What matters is their mindset, because everybody can't do this. So at the end of every meeting, we would ask, might get together in another room, the meeting after the meeting to talk about it. And we'd ask, how'd I show up? And I remember once I got into this petty back and forth with another director during a meeting. Immediately following that meeting, my board of directors grabbed me and said, Andrea, you did not show up as Michelle Obama. Girl, you were more like Wendy Williams. Boom. Now, nothing wrong with Wendy Williams, but my standard for that meeting was Michelle Obama. I wanted to show up gracefully. I wanted to smile and be approachable, and I wanted to be smart. Moments like these keep you aligned with the version of yourself that you're striving to become. The next meeting we had, I got the nod going in, right? A week later, we were in another meeting. Same group of folks, same person I was petty with was in there, and that person started to be petty again. And instead of jumping into the conversation the way I did the last time, I leaned back and I was Michelle Obama. Very gracious, brought my tone down, was very professional, and someone else started to engage in that fight. And it wasn't me. All because my board of directors, my tribe, was there to hold me accountable to who I said I wanted to be. Here's the deal. You now know what's stopping most leaders from advancing, but understanding it's not enough. If you want real transformation, lasting change, I want to invite you to join the Brand Your Career experience. This training is my proven step-by-step system designed to level up your leadership mindset, to build a personal brand that not only gets you noticed, but gets you valued. We create brands that companies are afraid to lose because other companies are knocking at the door. I take women just like you and give them the tools that not only keep them visible, but makes them irresistible in their industry. Here's what you get. You get a complete blueprint for creating your career brand in 30 days. You get a deep dive into mastering your leadership mindset, insider techniques for controlling your emotions, and owning executive presence. You get a complete toolkit designed to skyrocket your career. No fluff. Normally, I bring this offer to Fortune 500 companies, and we just extended this offer to a government agency for $6,000 per leader. But because I'm so passionate about the success of women, I'm offering it to you for just $97. Can you afford to wait for your career to move at its current slow pace? Or are you ready to take action? I want you to click the link and join today. Don't wait. The sooner you invest in yourself, the sooner you see results. I want to thank you for spending this time with me. I know that you could have done anything in the last 45 minutes, and you chose to spend it with me. And here's what I know about you. Because you've spent 45 minutes with me, I know that you're ready. I know that you are already amazing. Even if you just got promoted last week, it's time to start thinking about your next promotion. It's time to create your brand. It's time to get the mindset of not the next promotion, but the one after that. Your next step, don't just think about it. Own it. Take the first step towards becoming the leader you are meant to be. As we end our time together, this offer won't last forever. At $97, you really can't afford not to do it. It would be a shame that $97 stood between you and your next promotion. I'm Coach Andrea Oden, and I will see you inside the Brand Your Career experience. The best is yet to come. I'll see you soon.